Take a look at this, a full basket, and that isn't even all of them. I'm telling you, you are not going to believe how much food is still in our garden. I could be making refrigerator pickles in November from these fresh cucumbers. This is crazy. Guten Yardening, everybody! Well, we are right there at the edge between fall and that freezing weather that's coming our way here in Zone 5, Wisconsin, and we still have a ton of vegetables out here that we need to harvest. Some of them have held on all summer long, and some of them, like our winter squash, are just now ready to harvest. So today I want to invite you to join me for a fantastic fall harvest. Now we actually have quite a bit of this Delicata squash, our first time growing it, but it's a variety I know a lot of people talk about absolutely loving, and we got some great production this year. Now the first Delicata was actually kind of hard to cut off, but what I found is that they break off really well and still leave us that inch or so of stem that we need. Take a look at the beautiful fall colors in this squash. We've got those flecks of yellow, we've got that nice tan skin. These are awesome. What a great consistent size. I cannot wait to sample the flavor of these beauties. Even the small ones that didn't develop all the way still look fantastic. Now there will be a few squash that we harvest today that aren't going to be all the way ripe. The plants have died back. These aren't going to get any riper, and the ones that we're harvesting today that aren't fully ripe, you can tell because there'll be some green streaks in here that weren't in the other ones, but you know what? These are still edible. They just won't be as sweet as the mature ones, but we're not going to leave these out here to waste. Now if you have a favorite variety of winter squash, I want to know all about it. My personal favorite, so far anyway, this butternut squash. And one of the things I love about butternut squash, beyond that amazing sweet taste, is just how much food you can get from one really healthy squash. Take a look at this squash and tell me you don't love this time of year. Oh, this is so fantastic. So much food for the winter. Now down this row we have several more varieties of winter squash. One of them is super cool. It's called the Autumn's Choice Hybrid. Take a look at this beauty. First of all, it's a variety of butternut squash, a hybrid type of butternut squash. Look at that bright orangish yellow color, and it keeps some of that green at the top even after ripening. This is an amazing looking winter squash. Now unfortunately for this variety, we didn't get every single one of them to ripen up. This though is pretty cool. This is what it looks like before it ripens up, before it gets a lot of that yellow in there. Wow, what a beautiful winter squash. Well, this one definitely won't be as sweet, although we've never actually tried or eaten this variety before. This is still perfectly edible. Now as I get in here to harvest our Kabocha squash, one thing I can recommend to you for sure is to try different varieties of winter squash to see which ones you like the best. This is another personal favorite. Well, I'll be honest with you, I haven't really found a winter squash that I don't like yet. I absolutely love that deep dark green color that the Kabocha squash brings with it. Oh, take a look at that beauty. I'm so excited to finally be able to harvest this Canada crookneck squash. It's looked so good all season. And yeah, we harvested some from our community garden plot, but this is the first that we're harvesting here. And I just started thinking, how much space would all of this squash have taken up if we hadn't grown it vertically? We've definitely been able to grow more in our small space because of this trellising. Now, one other thing to keep in mind as I'm harvesting the rest of this Delicata here, these are going to last us for several months once we cure them, at the very least. Again, our butternut squash in years past have lasted us for 7 or 8 months. So we've got tons of food coming in right now. Oh, and take a look at this Autumn's Choice that was down here trying to hide from me. I don't think so. Oh, we've got so much winter squash already stored up, and now we are just adding so much more. Now, out of all the squash that we just harvested, this is the only one that I see with any kind of real damage or any issue. If you know what might have caused this, let us know in the comments. All right, take a look at this. This is a cheddar. That's the variety, Cheddar Cauliflower. It's a yellowish orange cauliflower. Isn't that beautiful? That head is absolutely perfect for us. I'm gonna get underneath here and cut it out and get it a little bit closer so you can see it. There's a little leaf right there. Take a look at that beauty. Wow. Well, I've gone ahead and cut off the green so you can see this cauliflower head, and I'm going to show you something underneath. If anyone ever wonders why you need to soak these in salt water, these and your broccoli in salt water after you harvest them, well, you want to get rid of these little creatures in there, these little loopers. They're all over the place. You soak them in salt water and you don't have to worry about them one bit. You know, one of the reasons why I enjoy a good harvest so much? It's the payoff. After all the work that goes into getting all these plants set up, planted, all the care that we give to them, we get to come out here and harvest all of the fruits of our labor before the frost comes in and tries to take these away from us. You would not believe the number of mid-October Zone 5 eggplant we have still growing out here. This mild fall has had so many benefits for us in the garden. One person I was talking to recently said it's a bumper crop all around. There's so much out here still to harvest. Last night the temperatures dropped to 38 degrees Fahrenheit, which is getting to that 32 degrees freezing temperature. So we definitely need to get these out of here. But wait till you see how many I've just pulled from this spot. Take a look at this, a full basket, and that isn't even all of them. We are less than 2 weeks away from November in Zone 5, and still we've got fresh garden cucumbers. I'm 100% serious when I ask this. Can it get any better? I could be making refrigerator pickles in November from these fresh cucumbers. This is crazy. This has been an amazing year for us for our cucumbers. And while I'm at it, why don't I come over here and get this summer squash, that last straggler of a summer squash. Oh wow, what's this? More coming in? No, there's no way they're gonna have time, but this is gonna be tasty. Now, it seemed like this was plenty hard, this head was plenty firm, and then 2 days later, I come out here and it is, our best head out here is sprouting flowers. But however, one thing that we can do is we can salvage this because these broccoli flowers are actually edible. Now, I'm not recommending you let your broccoli go to seed, but don't throw it out if it does. You can go ahead and harvest it and you can eat these raw or cooked. And as you might guess, the flavor, well, it tastes like broccoli. It's actually quite good. So it'd be kind of fun to put this on a salad. But that being said, given what happened to this one and the fact that these other ones look like they are loosening up as well, and you can see it about to happen to this one too, I'm gonna go ahead and harvest these broccoli heads right now, and we should get some florets that come in shortly afterward. Now, in that same bed where we harvested our broccoli here, you can see we have more eggplant, and they're not just small eggplant. Take a look at these. They're massive eggplant everywhere in here. This is the best of times for sure. These are from just 2 plants growing in that bed. Unbelievable. Now, our pepper plants don't love this cold weather, and so we're going to go ahead and get anything that's ripe, like this one, off of here, and we're going to have to pull off the green ones as well soon because we want to overwinter some of our pepper plants because of the success that we had with our California Wonder this year. So I'm going to pull a couple of the bigger ones off here, and then we're going to go over to our California Wonder. This California Wonder has been so amazingly productive for us this season. There is no doubt in my mind that it was a direct result of overwintering, and so that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to try to get this out of here again and overwinter it a second year in a row. And underneath here we have some sweet potatoes growing. So once we get our pepper plant out of here, once we get all of these peppers off of here, then we're going to have the opportunity to harvest whatever grew underneath. Take a look at the size of this bell pepper. That is magnificent. Oh wow, absolutely love this plant. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to add a couple of ripe tangerines to this harvest as well. These beauties are so delicious. Hey, during our last garden tour, these mums, which we overwintered, were just about to come out and they hadn't opened up yet. But take a look at these amazing colors. It's so fantastic, and the fact that they survived our winter here and are providing this beauty, a bonus for sure. Well, can you believe I'm just now getting up to our front yard in space? I haven't spent any time up here yet, and I've got eggplant to get out of here, I've got tomatoes to get out of here, and of course there are other greens in here that aren't quite ready yet. You know what? This purple beauty pepper may be the second most productive pepper that we've grown. I absolutely love the look of this pepper, and the taste is fantastic as well. Now this year we grew our onions from sets that we got at the store, and the overall production was not great. So I think we're gonna go back to starts. I think that's gonna be a better fit for us in the future. We just didn't really get the size that we wanted from our onions this year. It wasn't horrible, but these definitely aren't as nice as the ones that we grew last year. Eggplant, eggplant, everywhere. We've got more eggplant. An unbelievable crop this year. Our okra finally seems like it's done producing. We've left everything else out here in order to harden up, to let the seeds mature on here fully so that we can go ahead and save some of these seeds. These were incredible producers this year. If you've ever wanted to see what a dried out okra looks like, this one has seeds inside that are perfectly ready to be harvested. You can see it's sort of split open here. It feels dry, and if you shake it, you can hear the seeds inside rattling around. This one is ready for us to collect seeds from. Now we have let some of these tomatoes stay on here a little bit too long, which is kind of devastating to me. But one of the things that happens when you leave them on too long, when there's more moisture and there's all of that cool temperature at night, you start to get splitting. So I'm afraid we've lost some of these tomatoes to splitting, but I'm gonna get the rest of them off here while I still can, the ones that don't have any damage to them, because again, fresh tomatoes near November in Zone 5, Wisconsin, that's just an extra treat that we want to hold on to. Oh, and our cherry tomatoes that never did get transplanted beyond a little bit of an uppotting, they're still producing. Look at this. This is just stem and tomato. That's all this is, but we're still getting multiple handfuls off of these plants. And they're like that the whole way down our patio. All right, let's check and see if, yep, there's some more red peppers here inside of our compost area, or at least one or two. And this one's still green, but we're gonna get this one off of here. Now, it's not the full way red, but it makes for a pretty pepper, doesn't it? All right, there's a lot more out here that I could harvest, but the night is coming on us faster now that we're getting closer to winter. So let's take a look at what we got out of the garden today. Now I ended up just harvesting one thing I didn't show you on camera at all, and that's our kohlrabi. This is a nice 4-inch diameter kohlrabi. I couldn't help myself. I love it too much. So are you ready to see exactly what we just harvested? Well, how about that for a harvest just a few weeks from November here in Zone 5, Wisconsin. Look at all the food we're going to have the privilege of enjoying over the next few months. Varieties we've never eaten before, varieties that we've definitely enjoyed before and we're going to enjoy once again. I'm just super excited to get this inside and preserved. Well, we hope you enjoyed this video. We hope you found it inspiring, and if you did, don't forget to give us a like, leave us a comment, remember to share and subscribe, and most importantly, remember, when you're with us, you are good to grow.